Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to explain to you with gameplay videos why the Battlestaff of Terror with committed critical hit and gravity is one of the most powerful weapons, if not the most powerful weapon in Minecraft dungeons. Now I chosen to go with gravity for several reasons. First of all, it changes combos more continuously when I hit enemies in a group. It's also the counterproductive enemy explode because the enemies is pushed away. So with gravity, I pulled them in, and I was able to deal damage to many enemies at the same time, as well as make the explosion hit many enemies that I tied together. I also need to spend less time running for enemies. Gong is more effective because I can use it on a tight group of enemies. The weapon has a small area, so this way, when enemies are kind of grouped together, I can deal damage to enemies, more enemies at the same time. So basically, it requires less hitting in order to eliminate a large group of enemies. So this leads to faster map clear. It also balances well with slow attack, for example, just in case mushroom isn't ready. Still, slow attacks deal damage to many enemies, so you can eliminate them fast. So when enemies are pushed back due to explosion, they are also stunned for a very short duration. But big enemies don't fly, so you can actually kind of enjoy a little bit of stun and eliminate enemies before they actually hit you again. You should also get rid of high rate threats, maybe those purple dudes, very quickly compared to just trying to eliminate them one by one and getting damage on the way because of the AoE that they leave on the ground. So the thing is that there are so many things going on the screen that you don't pay attention to this, but I try to break things for you by explaining this so you can see there are many advantages of actually having gravity on the weapon, in this case instead of sharpness. Let's go and see some gameplay so you can see actually how it turns out, in practice when playing this one in a Apocalypse 7 level. Now without gravity things are quite messy, and it's I need to hit more and kind of move again and again. Some enemies push me, and it's very kind of a messy gameplay. But with gravity things change considerably for the better. So again, we're gonna take a look at just a few moments of without gravity, and soon we're gonna see gameplay with gravity so you can see how it goes. Again, I need to run on enemies. I can still clear it, but again, you can see that just running 2 enemies, 3 enemies, 2 enemies, it's very, very messy. Now, everything you're gonna see from now on is with gravity. Take a look. As you can see, the hits, everything is more tight. Each hit actually counts here. You can deal damage to many enemies, although the area of the weapon is small. Still, you're gonna hit many enemies because they fall into the area where you actually hit with your weapon. This makes the combat feel much smoother, more responsive, and more effective, and it's more fun playing like that. Now here, the explosion before without the gravity weren't that useful because enemy just explode, in empty space. But when you group them up and they explode, they hit enemies around them, so it's much more effective because there's a delay for the explosion. In some way, it's like crafting a TNT, using enemies and just let them blow away and hit each other. Here you can see that even with slow attacks, I was able to eliminate enemies really fast. And this weapon is perfect for Apocalypse 7, the highest difficulty right now in the game as of the time of making this video. Now I'm not losing any leeching or radiant, just the 6% of life-stealing aura that I have on my armor. Now because you pull enemies towards you, even those who are actually pushed away by the explosion, deal enemy damage to those enemies in the outer radius, so this makes it even easier to clear up many enemies, a large group of enemies. Now there are some enemies that can actually push you away, but this way you actually pull them in, and because there's kind of a very slow stun delay, you can actually eliminate them really fast before they're able to push you again. As you can see, very tight gameplay, and once you play with the gravity, it's very hard to play without it. You feel kind of everything like messy, and with gravity everything is just packed, and you can deal every hit counts in any encounter. And this is why it's more important than actually having sharpness, because you deal actually more damage every single time, where you can actually pack more enemies together. And this weapon is great for everything, for dealing with tons of mobs, high threat enemies, you know, those big creatures, bosses, everything. And it's also great for those who like to clear things fast. In this engagement, by the way, I was surprised that the 6% life steal of the armor was able to keep up with all the damage that was thrown at me. I was just shocked. That's how effective it is. And here I'm actually dealing with dozens of enemies and lots of AoE on the ground. It was a complete mess, but I was able to survive this. Crazy. So this is my build for the Battlestaff. Super powerful. If you have anything you want to ask, anything to add, please let me know. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to try out many other builds, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and press the bell button to get notified when I release new videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye bye.